another Jason.
Hi.
Jason Ramsey is with us today. He's a member of our church, and just super excited to have a conversation with him today. Today we're going to be hitting another one of our seed statements, which is extend an invitation. So if you hadn't heard, we have a seed statement that has four elements to it. The first one is share the gospel. The second one is extend an invitation. The third one is embrace new relationships. And the last one is do the work together. And so we're going to have a conversation about that today. So that being said, thanks for tuning in. We're looking forward to just another good conversation today and glad that you're a part of it. All right, so let's just jump right in, Jason.
All right.
Just why don't you take a moment and just introduce yourself and just kind of let us know who you are and a little bit about your family.
All right. My name is Jason Ramsey. I've been going to church here about 2 years now, I think.
Yeah.
My wife's Jennifer Ramsey. I've got 3 boys. John, he's 13, involved in youth. And I've got Jackson, who is 7, and Judge, who is 5. He just went to Big People's Church for the first time, like the last couple of weeks.
I'm sure lots of energy.
Yes. Yes.
That's awesome.
His grandmother was there, so he was pretty quiet.
That's always good to have
So
grandparents involved. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, today we're going to talk about extending an invitation, and you said you've been here for about 2 years, so maybe if you could just give us some insight of what that looked like for you guys, becoming part of our church family here, and maybe how God kind of used some different pieces to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. We were fairly involved with a mega church, essentially, and I had been going there for quite a while and really enjoyed it, especially the teachings, but it was kind of hard to be involved. The community, I mean, you can be as involved as you can, but it was just so easy to be anonymous and just come in and go and kind of use church as entertainment as opposed to, spiritual growth or, something to be a part of and, serve. And, we tried service and we were like on a greeting team, for quite a while. And we, taught some kids classes and stuff like that for a while. And it was all well and good, but there was still like that anonymity. And, one of the things that they actually would preach on at the church is sometimes it's important to actually maybe not even go to that church anymore and get involved in your local church. And so we had, God had kind of put that on our hearts, especially Jennifer. I mean, she was really keen on trying to find a local church. And so my schedule kind of prohibited us from going to the regular church service because I was working on Sundays at the time. And but my schedule changed and opened up, to where I was now off on Sundays. Our company had closed and on Sundays. And so that kind of just opened it up for us. And, we were going to be trying out local churches and things of that nature. And, Jenny had found an ad for the Cross Timbers. And so she signed John up to go to Cross Timbers, and that we were all equipped for that and everything. And I had taken my 2 younger sons out to the splash pad one day, and there was another couple with their kids. They're a little bit older, but my kids were playing with them, so fine, everything's fun. And I was talking to them, and it was Josh and his wife Emily, and at the time Josh was the children's minister, so he was actually heading up the trip. It was right, I think Shelby came in like right after Cross Timbers or something for that time, but. Anyway, we started up a conversation, and we're talking about going to the church and things of that nature, and come to find out, Emily actually attended a church that I used to have gone to in my youth. I was actually in youth group with her older brother and older sister and stuff, and so it's kind of small world deal. But of course, Josh certainly encouraged me to actually come to church and not just go have John go to the camp and that'd be it. So,
typical outreach pastor, right?
Yeah, and and I mean we didn't just jump right in. And in fact, at first we went to the camp meeting, and then even didn't even start coming until after Cross Timbers, because I remember going to dropped John off where he was going to be picked up off the bus, and I saw Pastor Travis. Pastor Travis looked real familiar to me. And I thought at first that he was a guy I had gone to high school, that but no, he's not. But come to find out, we had both attended Super Summer at the same time, and we're actually in the same group, and that's actually the when he met Aaron.
Okay.
So kind of,
Special time for
yeah. I mean, I had seen him, and I was like, I know that guy, So, but then we started coming, and when he saw me, he asked, if I went to Super Summer. He was like, "Are you Jason Ramsey?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so he had like old pictures of when we were at Super Summer and stuff. And so
that's cool.
It was just really cool, and it was really exciting for me to get involved in the church for a lot of different reasons. It was great to. Because it was like an instantaneous community when I jumped in because of what few things we did in the Blanchard area.
Yeah.
Like for instance, John was in Scouts, and so I come up and there's like 15 dads that I already know because I've gone on camping trips with them and stuff.
Very cool.
So I really felt at home at the church pretty quick because of that stuff, and having connections with other people and stuff like that. So it was really awesome, and I was really encouraged to try and get involved really as much as I could. I was pretty gung ho about it.
Absolutely.
The first Sunday that we came. There was nobody playing bass that day, and so there was the bass sitting there by itself on the stage. And I went to you after service, and I said, "Hey, do you need a bass player?"
Right.
So
yes, I do remember that.
And so, but yeah, I was really eager to get involved as much as I could because just having that godly community was something that I really feel like we were missing because we were just going and leaving.
Absolutely.
So
well, I love the way that you kind of talked about that. You had kind of a this mentality of I have a responsibility even in the invite to make myself known and make myself available, and I think that's kind of an interesting viewpoint. A lot of times I think people kind of have this feeling that they're going to come into the church and just kind of sit back and wait to get engaged into the church family, but in reality it really makes a difference when you put yourself out there as an acting party in that, because it's a relationship, just like anything else.
Right.
It takes two people to have a conversation, and so I really appreciate that. And so through those conversations that you had with Josh and Travis, and that just kind of enriched everything. It sounds like God just used all that together. And by the way, we are glad you're here. Glad that you're a part of our family here at the church.
It's definitely been a really, really great thing that's happened since, and I couldn't imagine us not going to church here at Blanchard.
Well, and maybe you can kind of talk about that a little bit, kind of maybe elaborate a little bit on what this has meant, the fact that there was an invitation and that it was accepted. What has that meant for you and your family just here at Blanchard First?
Well, it's just it's just the sense of community of it, and it's sometimes whenever you get into like trying to invite people to church, and you feel like you're pushing, like you're trying to force something on people, or trying to tell people, hey, you need to believe my way, and but there's when you've got the love of Christ behind it, all that kind of political stuff kind of just goes to the wayside.
Yes.
So.
Absolutely. Well, that's, something about just thinking about that, having the heart of Christ. I think about how many times, when that is our priority, when that's our kind of our idea of why we're doing what we do, that helps us to make those decisions and reach people in a different way. We're not trying to, like you said, we're not trying to just strong arm people into the church. We are actually trying to introduce people to Christ and a godly family, basically, and that's what we hope for. That's what I believe our goal is at the church. We talk about sharing the gospel and then making the invitation giving the invitation to somebody. But so that being said, I just I really think that just seeing you and your family kind of come in and be a part, it really kind of epitomizes the idea of making sure that we are active in embracing those relationships, and I think that's the outflow of the invitation. And I kind of see you as doing that. You know, I've always seen you kind of being the guy that, hey, you're willing to start a conversation, to be out there and actually invite people in to your life. And just tell me a little bit about how you go about doing that, because I just see that being one of your strengths as a person.
I was shy growing up, and my dad he kind of instructed us to be outgoing. You know, he kind of pushed it on us a bit, and my dad was really outgoing as well, and it kind of came off on us, and like being friendly, being personable, having conversations, sometimes can backfire a little bit.
I understand.
No, I mean, it's really great. And I mean, there was I had an example, I had an opportunity to extend the invitation, and I didn't seize it when the opportunity was presented to me at first, but, I realized, where I'd gone wrong, and, went back and made up for it. One of the things, especially when you're in a small community like Blanchard, which, I mean, it's getting bigger and bigger every day, but when you're going to like the same stores here and there, every few days or what have you, you start developing these relationships. Even if you're not on a first name basis with people, you recognize, oh, that's the person that works here and that's the person that works there. And I had gone to the store and was getting like bread, or not bread, like milk and eggs and stuff for the kids for on Sunday morning. And as you know, we have to be at church a lot earlier than everybody else does. So, but I went there before, I had to be at, back at practice. And so I went, and of course I'm wearing like a collared shirt and stuff. And the girl who was checking me out, she said, "Are you going to church?" And I said, "Yeah." And that was, I just said, "Yeah." And I walked, I was like, "Thanks." And so, but like the next time I went in there and saw her, I said, "I'm very sorry. You asked me if I was going to church the other day. And, I should have, explained to you, yes, I'm going to church. I'd love for you to come, and, where it was and everything." And so I did that the next time. I said, "It's Blanchard First. It's just right down the street here. And, we'd love to have you come if you're interested in coming." So,
That's super cool.
It's funny though, because you go over that seed statement every week, and then when you realize that you didn't take an opportunity that you had for it, it stands out. So
it's like the when God just serves you up like a right there, and you're just like, "Oh, I'm just gonna let that one." I hear you, man. So many times. But so cool that you went back and actually finished the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I dropped the ball on it, and
don't we all though? I mean, we all have those moments.
I mean, and I feel good about it now that I did, that I did do that. So I'm happy about that.
One thing I've really been always amazed at is how willing people really are to accept an invitation. Sometimes that fear of rejection kind of keeps us from just being open and saying, "Hey, why don't you come be a part?" And it's as simple as that. What's the worst that people can say? "Hey, no, I'm just not going to." That's okay.
Right.
That's okay. And there's going to be those things. But if we never take the chance, then sometimes, just like you said, we just miss those opportunities. And I think that we can all be encouraged that we all miss those opportunities. We can all be encouraged that, hey, let's be open and willing to embrace those opportunities when they come. And I think that's the part of the seed statement.
Well, and I mean, like it says to pray for those who persecute you. A lot of times people forget we persecute ourselves a lot. And so we look down on ourselves a lot, and we especially we see like societal norms, and we don't want to come off a certain way, which we need to be genuine. We need to come off the real way. And so the thing is that somebody may get offended by you inviting them to church. And that can happen.
That can happen. Absolutely can.
And but the main thing is be nice about it.
Absolutely.
Ask people to come to church. You're genuinely inviting them to church. If they don't want to come to church, doesn't hurt your feelings. It's no big deal. It's okay. But I want you to know you're always welcome. Type of thing. So
absolutely. And what we talk about is planting seeds. And that's what we're doing. And that may not come to fruition today. It may be, like some people, it takes time for that to come around, and God may be working in people's lives. But Well, I really, I just love, the opportunity to sit down and chat with you about these things. And I know, man, we could sit down here and probably talk for hours and hours, and maybe we should again. But I definitely, I want to thank you for being here, being a part of our seed statements, and just look forward to having more conversations. And I want to thank you guys for being a part of this as well. We are looking forward to having more good conversations about the seed statement and many more things. In 2 weeks, we're going to have another episode, so check back in with us. And hey, share this with one of your friends, and give them the opportunity to be invited into Seed Stories. We want to thank you for being a part. We hope that God bless you through it. We'll bless you through it, and we will hope to see you again next time. You guys have a great day.